Well, there's been a lot of reaction to the ICC's decision, most recently from U.S. President Joe Biden, once again saying Putin clearly committed war crimes. Let's discuss this further now with Thomas Warwick. He is the former deputy to the first ever U.S. ambassador for war crimes issues at the U.S. State Department and is a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. And he joins us live from Washington. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us on the program. Now, Russia has said that they don't recognize the ICC. However, the crimes were committed on Ukrainian and Russian soil. So despite Russia not taking the jurisdiction seriously, Putin could still be tried if he leaves Russia and travels to a country that is a member of the ICC, as you know. But the ICC does rely on the cooperation of governments to arrest people, doesn't it?
That's right. And one of the important features of the International Criminal Court Treaty is that it does not recognize head of state immunity the way courts in individual countries are required by international law to do. So this will have, I think, more than just merely symbolic effect. This is going to limit Putin's ability to travel for international conferences. He is subject to arrest if he goes to a country that recognizes the authority of the International Criminal Court. And it is certainly the case that this sends an important symbolic message of the criminal nature of Russia's aggression against Ukraine. The law is very clear that you cannot transfer children from one country to another country forcibly, but this is exactly what Russia has shown television pictures that it's doing. This was a war crimes indictment today, but this also is included as one of the elements of genocide under the International Genocide Convention. So I think we're likely to see more charges coming for Putin in the coming weeks and months.
Right, and these charges are quite significant. While we know that it's going to have an impact on Putin, as you mentioned, could it potentially have an impact on the war at all?
It sends a message to Russian military and civilian leaders that they also could be subject to arrest if they commit further atrocities. So the hope is that this will reduce the incidence of war crimes that are widely reported in Ukraine, the indiscriminate shelling of civilian apartment buildings, for example. Perhaps soldiers may decide that they would rather stick to legitimate military targets and not carry out illegal orders to attack civilians.
You mentioned that you are expecting more charges to be placed against Vladimir Putin. What kind of charges can we expect?
Well, what was submitted today by the ICC prosecutor and ruled on by the court, the same facts would support a charge under the Genocide Convention. He's also subject to charges of crimes against humanity for widespread and systematic attacks on civilian populations. The laws of war are very clear that you must target only legitimate military targets, and the civilian targets that Putin and his forces have attacked clearly fall into the category not just of war crimes, but crimes against humanity. So we are waiting for further charges to be made public by the judges of the International Court in The Hague.
All right, Thomas Warwick, it was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us.